Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first session of the Global Youth Climate Training Program. We're just having you guys all come in from the waiting room. We're so delighted that you're here to join us for the first kickoff session. So welcome, everyone. My name is Alexis McGivern. I'm the head of stakeholder engagement at Oxford Net Zero at the University of Oxford. And I'm joined by my amazing colleagues from Oxford and from the Global Youth Coalition, and my co-host for today, Luigi Ramuzi. So, Luigi, I'll let you introduce yourself and then I'll explain a little bit about the program.
Hi everyone, I'm Lucy Ramuzi. I'm the vice chairperson of the Global Youth Coalition and also one of the youth negotiators for Egypt. And yeah, I'll right back to you, Alexis.
Thanks, Luigi. So we're so delighted to have you join us for the Global Youth Climate Training Program. And please introduce yourself in the chat. Please let us know where you're calling in from, what part of the world you're joining us from. Now, just as we start our first session, we wanted to give a little bit of background information about the Global Youth Climate Training Program. So this is a picture of a few of our team at COP28, COP28, yeah. So many of them, COP28 in Dubai a few years ago. And the climate training program was born out of just a chance connection at a COP where we started meeting and discussing and chatting about youth representation in international climate policy space. And we had this discussion to say that young people are on the front lines of climate change, but are often not given the skills and the training that they need in order to show up in international climate policy spaces. So we set this up as a collaboration between the University of Oxford, where I sit, and with the Global Youth Coalition, who are an international coalition of young changemakers from around the world. And since we started our program in 2023, this is the third time that we're running the program, and we've had 27,000 applications, and we are so delighted to welcome this cohort of 500 such bright, young, wonderful individuals, and really looking forward to getting to know you all so much better. And over to you, Luigi.
Thank you, Alexis. So first of all, I'm gonna just give a quick introduction to the team. So Augustin, would you like to go first?
Hi everyone. Yes, I would love to just welcome everyone. Just a brief welcome to all of you guys. Thank you for dedicating your time for the planet, because we are working, all of us, collectively to save the planet. Not because we need to do it, but because we have to do it. Have a good day. Brief and short.
Thank you. And right to Clarissa.
Yeah, hi everyone. Really great to have you here. I support on the Oxford side of the program, and I was actually in the first cohort of the Global Youth Climate Training back in 2023. And so I've seen firsthand how much impact it can have on your engagement around international climate advocacy. And yeah, just really excited to be here with you all, even though my office is currently flooding. But it's fine. Enjoy the session.
And so sorry about that, Clarissa. Right to Mirna.
Hi, everybody. I'm honestly so excited to see you all. It was such a competitive and tough process to pick you. So I'm really excited to see the amazing stuff that you'll do. I'm calling in from Myrna, and I help organize the program from the GYC side. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to this iteration so much. Go ahead, Luigi.
And then we have Irene, but Irene isn't currently on the call, but she's our core project designer at the GYC.
She's having her birthday.
Yeah, today's her birthday. And then we have Bianca. So Bianca is our social media and community management lead at the GYC. Really, really talented and amazing. Just had to put that out there. And then we have Raul. He is our strategic advisor at the Global Youth Coalition. And Jen is on the call. So what if Jen gives a quick introduction to himself?
Yeah, hello, friend, folks, family. How you doing? Name is Jen. I'm one of the youth co-founders. I've been being on the Global Youth Coalition since the beginning, and very excited about this third year already. It's huge how we're able to each year come with new ideas, come with new energy to democratize knowledge and capacity development for young people to engage and make all of these spaces more inclusive, because that's like the intersectional inequalities that we're trying to fight for and against. And we're very happy about this. So I do policy and research. I was youth negotiator at COP29 and now focal point for the Global Youth Constituency on financing for development. So very, very happy to be here with you guys.
Thank you, Jen. And over to Liliana.
I'm not sure. I think Liliana might be behind the scenes, making sure this is all running smoothly. But just to say, Liliana is from the Oxford side. She works with me on doing all the digital comms and marketing on our side, and she is absolutely brilliant. So big up to Liliana.
And now off to Frederick.
Hello, everyone. I am Frederick from Tanzania, and I'm here as the GYCT Africa Strategy Engagement and Advocacy Manager. I've been engaging over 4 COPs and engaged as the youth negotiator from Tanzania. And I have met a brilliant young people with big mind, and I always inspired by their energy, and that's why I tried to join this initiative. And the reason behind this is to create the impact that matters. And this is where we are. Let's go.
Thank you, Frederick. And now to Matilda.
I think also Matilda is on the behind the scenes part, but Matilda is also from the Oxford side, and she is the person who is helping us raise even more funds to send more people to COP via bursaries. So Clarissa will explain in a little bit our COP bursaries. And just a quick note, Mohammed, I can see your hand is up. Would you mind typing your question and then we can address it in the chat? That would be fab. Thanks so much. Back to you, Luigi.
And just before we move on to the key learning outcomes, one more team member that is Fred, and Fred is doing everything behind the scenes. He's organizing the Zooms. He just figures everything out. So quick shout out to Fred.
Thanks, Luigi. Very, very well remembered.
Before we go to the, sorry that I jump in, I have been sending like crazy in the group, but don't forget that you have the opportunity to do Instagram stories, and you can tag the Global Youth DO _CO and tag and share with the community, share with the planet that you are attending the Global Youth Climate Training and you are learning how to make the impact that we need in the planet. It's important that we communicate to the planet what we are doing, right? I want to see a lot of stories today. Yeah, just sorry to jump in. I want to say that.
No problem, Augustin. So right off to the key learning outcomes. The goal of this session is for you guys to understand the structure of the GYCT, to know the key people in the coordinating team, and to know where to go to report any issues you might be having or ask any questions. You will also know about like any opportunities that are available to the GYCT cohort, and you'll understand the process for getting the certificate of the course and applying for the bursaries, because we do have some like attendance requirements that we'll get into later. And for the agenda, so for the first 20 minutes, we're just going to give a quick overview of the program. After that, we're going to have a panel with the GYCT alumni, where you guys can like have a quick Q&A with them. And then we're going to have breakout rooms where you guys can engage with the other cohort participants and reflect with whatever language that you'd like to speak in. And just a note to rename yourselves when you're entering the breakout room. So for instance, if you want to enter an English speaking breakout room, you'll just put an _EN If you want a Spanish breakout room, you'll just put _ ES, for instance, Espanol. And then for Arabic, _ AR. And then I think you guys get the memo now. And then we're going to have a final information and reflection time at the very end in the last 15 minutes. And hope you guys enjoy today's session.
Thanks so much, Luigi. And just a quick note that maybe if you guys rename yourselves now, that will help us to be able to assign you to know where you're going, so we can assign you to the breakout rooms in good time. Great. So I'm just gonna stop sharing my screen for a second, just to go through some of the key documents and information that you've been sent. I know you have been sent a lot over email, but just want to make sure that everyone understands everything that's available to them. So just to say quickly that we've got the timeline, which is has been sent to you, but I'll walk through it. We have the first 4 sessions between now and June 12th. Then we have a 2-week break during some climate meetings in Bonn in Germany, where some of our team will be attending. You'll have some asynchronous assignments to do during that time. Then we'll have another set of sessions. Then in July, the applications for the bursaries will open. And then we'll finish the program in July, but we'll have a final reunion session in November. And just to say, because I can see some comments coming through the chat, instead of putting the language in the chat, please rename yourself. So the little 3 dots on the top right-hand side, you can go and rename yourself to the language that you would like for the breakout rooms. Now, let me just stop sharing my screen for a moment so that I can walk through some of the documents that will be relevant to you during your time on GYCT. So firstly, you will have the cohort booklet. So the cohort booklet was sent to you last week. Sorry, just making sure you can see that. Sorry. Can everyone see my screen with the cohort booklet?
Yes, Alexis.
Yes,
we can
okay,
see.
sorry. Okay, so we've got the cohort booklet, and this is your one-stop shop for every piece of information that you might need during your time on the youth training program. So we have a little bit about the partners that are delivering this program and our funders. And just to give a very important shout out to our partners, eco-interpreters. As you will notice, there's live interpretation available. If you're joining us on Zoom, you can click below on the globe and pick the language that you would like to follow along in. So these are our partners who are working with us. These are our program values, so the ones that we expect all of our participants to uphold. And a little bit about our cohort, so where everyone has come from and the background of all the individuals. And the key logistical information that you find here, including the dates, whether or not it is virtual, what happens during the schedule, how you meet people, etc. And here's a little bit about our team that we obviously shared today. But the most important thing probably is our schedule. So here on the left-hand column, we have our dates, and each of these has a clickable Zoom link. So if you're ever wondering where the Zoom link is, it's sent in a reminder email before the session, but you can always find it at any time hyperlinked in our document. And you'll find the title of the session and the bullet points for the learning outcomes. So this is for all of the sessions moving forward. And as you scroll down the document, you can find some information about the speakers for each session. So for example, these are some profiles of our alumni speakers who are speaking today. And so if you ever come back to a session and you'd like more information, you can just go and find the name of the session, the date. Again, there's a hyperlinked Zoom link and the speakers that we will hear from. And also there are some suggested readings that you're able to read beforehand if you would like to, or afterwards. They're just meant to be complements to the course. So that's the cohort booklet, if people have any questions. I've been noticing people putting in the chat their LinkedIn profiles, and I just want to make sure that people have seen their LinkedIn group that we have sent, which is again included in the cohort booklet. So just up here, there's a piece of information about connecting with your fellow participants, and just to say you can meet your fellow participants on LinkedIn here. That will bring you to our shared LinkedIn group. So we'll be approving your entry to the LinkedIn group. As you can see, we're launching it today. So I have a number of requests to join that we'll check against our participant list. And then this is where you can speak to one another and chat, and you'll have all of your links together in one place. The last thing that I want to make sure you have seen, which is also sent out and also in our cohort booklet, is the cohort space. So here we'll be uploading folders with the slides for every single session, but it will also contain, for example, a link to the cohort booklet. But most importantly, we have this session, which is this community notes. So here there's a tab for each of the sessions, and you're very welcome to join here and take notes together. And I see Merna has just sent the key links in the chat there. So if there are any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat, but hopefully that gives a sense of all the important pieces of information that you'll need to know as we go through. So let me just share my slides again to go through a tiny bit more logistical information. Again, we'll upload these slides afterwards, but we've got the cohort folder, the community notes document I just shared, the online Slack space, which is where you can message and interact with each other. We'll send a link in just a few days for that. And the LinkedIn group, which is also being shared in the chat. Now, just on attendance, so you'll receive a link for an attendance form about 24 hours after each session. And that will be, you'll be able to complete that if you've either watched the recordings, which are available in the YouTube channel, the Smith School YouTube channel. Again, all of this information is in the cohort booklet. So I will share the links there as well. But each session's attendance form will contain a very short quiz, and it's important that you guys fill this out as part of the course. Okay, that is all of the logistical information. I recognize that it's a lot. I can see someone asking they don't see the form for attendance form. As we say, that will be sent 24 hours after each session. So you shouldn't expect that until 24 hours after the session. And all of the other information is available in the cohort booklet. Great. Now with that, I'll play this video from Jen.
Well, thank you, everyone. This is just an introduction video background while I explain a little bit of the research. So I should just go, right? So as you can see, we see images about what is defining our future, what are we doing now as youth, and essentially, you know, the whole issue about how do we defend intergenerational equity, which is a broad concept that can mean different things, and there's a broad also literature on it, but we know that youth have this word that we use and sometimes it's intergenerational fairness, intergenerational equity, intergenerational justice, intergenerational solidarity. And when we use this technically and we want to push governments to put policies that make sure that young people are included in the climate policies, in disbursements and responsiveness, and when you implement climate finance projects, for example, we need to let the world and policymakers know what exactly does that mean to us? How do we measure intergenerational equity? So this is a big understanding and research gap. And if you can go to the next slide now, that we're trying to solve this with the research initiative that we're working on alongside many partners. So next slide. Here we go to the next slide. As you can see, then this research that I hope you receive it. It's not you can check it in your mail, an invitation to fill up the form. Essentially, this month we're launching this global online survey that will get the first inputs so we can understand an operational definition, try to define a little bit of the first inputs for future scenarios, and we can continue developing this program. And then you will be invited, and it's optional, to foresight workshops, capacity buildings on what does intergenerational equity means through legal lenses and so on. And then the last phase that will probably start around December, January is defining like the metrics that we want to use to measure intergenerational equity. So you're very much invited to participate in this research program as well. We're definitely gonna check your names and so on to count as brownie points for us to understand that you're really taking serious youth engagement and empowerment. So, well, thank you so much for the time as well for the team to let me pitch this project that we're doing, and you're super welcome to be part of it. So.
Then, if you could just briefly explain again, how do we access to your to the questionnaire?
Yeah.
How do we access to
So
the
I
survey?
would suggest that if you want to engage and learn more, you just go to our GYC website, which I'm linking now in the chat, and it's Youth Futures and Intergenerational Equity. And then you can see the first button that says there is sign up for the survey. And you can go there and sign up, and the deadline would be this month. So if you participate in that survey, that just will take you less than 10 minutes. Then you will be able to participate in the future capacity building, capacity development sessions, and you will be able to also receive a certificate of participation. So yeah, thank you so much, Agustin, for that help to clarify what to do.
Thanks so much, Jen.
Sure.
Over to you, Agustin, to talk about your event.
Hello, everyone. So it's my turn, and hopefully, well, I want to welcome you all, 500 people from all over the planet, wondering what can we do better and how can we improve our actions towards what's happening, no? Like the global warming and all these societal issues that are happening around us. For this, of course, we have created with the Global Youth Coalition, Oxford Net Zero, and all our partners, this amazing program that we have right now. But aside of that, we would love to invite you guys to the 22nd of May is the International Day for the Biodiversity. So in case that you want to go one step further, you can scan this QR code. This will take you to a simple form where I will receive your data, where I can invite you tomorrow to this amazing space on the metaverse that we will discuss is certain things that we are trying to bring to COP30. And it's basically that. It's the planet needs you. If you have checked in YouTube, my energy have changed a lot in the last years. I used to be more hopeful in the past. I used to be more aware of what we can do as youth. But lately I am a bit more grounded. It's not about the screaming, it's not about the smiling, it's not about hoping others to do the change. It's about being present and invite you guys. If you are here, if you are part of the 500 individuals that are learning now with the Global Youth Climate Training, I would love that some of you, those that are really eager to make an impact in the planet, to join us, because we are shaping the avocado framework, that amazing strategy that we are bringing to COP30 and to the planet, and you can be part of it. We will have some spots open to the public, and I would love that some of you are there. It's going to be a 24 hours open access, and we will discuss certain things, but it's up to you guys. It's not up to the Global Youth Coalition, it's not up to Oxford University, it's up to us as humans to take action. And if we don't do it now, there's no other chance to do it. Don't lose hope. It's not that I don't have hope anymore, I'm just more grounded. We need to do it because we have to do it. This is the year that we can make the impact as Global Youth Coalition, and I'm inviting you to join us. I hope to see you there, and thank you so much, Alexis and everyone in Oxford University, to give us the chance.
Thanks, Agustin. Just passing on to Clarissa to explain the bursary applications.
Just before I do that, just to clarify, I've seen lots of questions popping up in the chat about the email today, and I just went and triple checked, and there was some problems with delivering that. So if you didn't receive the email today, please do not panic. Rest assured, we will make sure that doesn't happen with future emails, and we have now checked anyone whose email wasn't wrong. If you haven't received any emails from us, please do let us know in the chat now. But I think most people whose emails weren't right, we've checked that. So yeah, if you didn't get the email today, don't worry, there's been an issue with the Gmail delivery. But if you haven't got any emails at all in the past few weeks, then please do let us know because we might not have the right email address for you. Cool. In terms of the opportunities, I've seen some questions about the attendance forms and about the bursary in the chat. So just to clarify, the attendance forms will be sent out 24 hours after the session. They're important because we need you to complete all the attendance forms to get your certificate of course completion, which I know everyone is really excited about. The other things you need to do to get that certificate are to complete the onboarding form. I can see most people have done that, but if you haven't, please do. You've still got the chance to do it. And we also have an assignment, which we'll be sharing more information about later. So those are all the things to get a certificate. In terms of the bursary, as Alexis said earlier, we won't be opening this until July, but in the spirit of transparency, we wanted to share the bursary criteria with you now so you can have a think as you go through the training. I would say the most, I won't read them all out to you now because they're on the slides, but the most important thing to think about today is that we do assess your engagement with the Global Youth Climate Training when we're taking your bursary into account. So really try and make the most of these sessions. Use the online forums and the spaces recreated. Make sure you do the compulsory forms, but also try and go beyond what's compulsory to show us you're engaged, and that will give your bursary application a greater chance of succeeding. The other criteria for the bursary application are mainly around your plans for COP30 and how the bursary would support you. So those are things you can think about later down the line when we get towards the bursary application. Yeah, and
Thanks
just
so
to
much.
clarify, yeah, no, okay,
Thanks.
pass back to Alexis.
Thanks, Clarissa. I'm seeing, just to clarify, just to explain one more time. So if you have been receiving the emails from us over the last few weeks, including your acceptance email, the cohort booklet email, then the email that we have on file for you is correct. But if you did not receive the email today, that's because unfortunately, there was a problem with the delivery from Gmail just today, and it won't happen again. But I can see a lot of people asking questions. But if you have received all previous emails, then you're good. And if you didn't receive one today, it's all okay, and we'll resolve it for the reminders for next time. But just to say, all of the email links and information are all contained in the cohort booklet. So if you don't receive the reminder email, you can also click through to that from the cohort link. And just because I've seen a few questions about the bursaries, we currently have 10 bursaries available with our funding. But as we mentioned, we have our colleague Matilda, who is working on fundraising more funding, more money to be able to send more people. So we hope that by July, we'll be able to have more than 10 bursaries available. Okay. And I can see a question about attendance forms. So again, just to repeat the information that we were saying about attendance forms, these will be available 24 hours after the session, and you will have to complete that within a week of receiving it. This, again, everything that we've been mentioning today is in the cohort booklet, so please do read that through. And if you have any further questions, ask them, but please check if it's in the cohort booklet first. Okay.
Thank you, Alexis. Just to repeat that, guys, no stress. You are all connected with us in the Slack place that we have created for you. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them there. No stress, there's time. I know you're excited as we are. So feel free to drop your questions there and we will be happy to answer them.
Dear team, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Just get one question regarding COPs. Will this be just an application for the bursaries or also for accreditation badges?
Thanks. That's a really good question. Just to say, we will be awarding the bursaries partly on your ability to, as we said, I'll just go back one slide, on your sort of plans for COP, and that might involve as well existing discussions that you have around accreditation. However, we are in discussions with folks to help us get more badges for COP. So it's kind of a bit of a chicken and egg. We'll be selecting people based on, their ability to attend COP, but also for those who have a strong reason and no accreditation, we'll also try our best to support, but unfortunately we can't guarantee accreditation for everyone. I hope that makes sense. But again, the bursaries information will come much further down the line, but I appreciate the question. Okay, just in the interest of time and making sure that we can get to our alumni panel, which Luigi will introduce. Nicolo, could I ask if you just put your question in the chat, please? And Luigi, over to you to introduce our alumni panel.
Okay, so for the next part of the session, we're going to be listening to a panel of our alumni. So we have some really, really great people that I think you guys should listen to really, really closely, because they are going to tell you all of the tips and tricks on how to get through the training in the best way possible. So first of all, we have Jetta, we have Fidel, we have Lily, we have Oliver, and then we have 3 of the alumni who attended COP, who are Renata, Zach, and Saruni. And over to Jetta first to introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. I am Jetta, currently MTT Fellow at Stockholm Environment Institute Asia. My climate advocacy is mostly related to bringing alcohol into Thailand and trying to connect youth with the Thai government. And so I got to go to COP last year. Unfortunately, not with GYCT, but the learning experience here was very valuable in that in going to COP. So hope to share more soon.
Thank you, Jetta. And Fidel.
Hi everyone. First of all, congratulations to our GYCT Participants 2025. My name is Fidel Nyandre and I'm from Rwanda. And I'm founder of Youth Initiative in Climate Change. It's an organization that aims to raise environmental awareness among Rwandan youth. And I studied it after my engagement with GYCT. I got more knowledge about climate education, then I felt a need to share it with my fellow youth in Rwanda. So that's what we're working on. And beyond education, we are championing some projects like home-based biogas, which are going to change lives of many Rwandans. So hope to engage with you very soon.
Thank you, Fidel. And now off to Lily.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be back. I was a part of last year's cohort. My name's Lily, and I live in Canada. I'm an advocate for climate literacy. I do a series on social media called Daily Climate News, and I'm also director of the KHN Institute. So basically, we do youth delegations to different spaces like COP and the UN. I was at COP29 last year, where I followed the ACE negotiation tracks.
Thank you so much, Lily. And now to Oliver.
Hi, everybody. My name is Oliver. I'm currently based in Egypt, Cairo. I'm originally from Germany, though. I'm the Director of Legal Affairs, Carbon Procurement, and NDC Partnership at Balance. We essentially develop legal and financial frameworks that really try to help governance and companies turn nature into climate assets. And we scale so-called balance units where we protect ecosystems for 100 years and tie those to carbon, biodiversity, and community livelihoods. And yeah, I've been a part of COP for the last 3 rounds, hopefully this year too, and really excited to be back for round 2 for the GYCT.
Thank you, Oliver. Now off to Renata.
I think Renata might not be joining us, so let's pass on to Zach.
Okay, then to Zach and then Saruni.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you all here. Super excited to be back again. I'm originally from Los Angeles. and I moved to Scotland to study international relations and got my master's there from the University of Glasgow. And I also studied in South Korea at Korea University. I focus primarily on global environmental governance and sustainable development. And then I also have played competitive football or soccer, depending on where you're from. The reason I bring that in is now I have started a new project or initiative to, I guess, start consulting for connecting sports and sustainability. And that will start at the youth level, but I'm hoping to also be bringing in top level sports organizations. And with almost 4 billion sports fans in the world, there's a lot of room to build that connection there and develop that nexus.
And now to Saruni.
All right. Hello, everyone. So my name is Runi from Indonesia. I was coming from the cohort last year, and right now my area of climate is working on waste, energy, and sustainability, specifically in climate finance. So we are focusing on the tropical forests, on the ecological fiscal transfer. And then I have an organization, Catalyst of Change ASEAN, which is focusing in the sustainable waste management. And proudly to be part of the Global Youth Coalition, especially on the avocado framework, nature-based solution. So go check on globalyouth.co/thetreated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Saruni. And now off to Augustin. Do you have a question?
Yeah, just a small answer to everyone there. Yes, we do have 10 spots, and we have some of these spots open for the Global Youth Climate Training going to COP. Don't focus on going to COP only. Focus on what you can do locally. Focus on what you can do in your family. Focus on what you can do in your country, in your neighborhood. But if you have the chance to join us at COP, just remember that this is what we are protecting, the beautiful planet. And I'm always bringing this beautiful thing here to the meeting that we're having today, because it's what we should be focused today. Don't focus on yourself, focus on this, on planet Earth, and why you want to be there. You don't want to be there because of your individual personal goals. You want to be there because of the planet, because of humans, because of nature. And it's just a small tip for everyone. We do appreciate participation. We do appreciate emails. We do appreciate all of you trying to showcase why you should be the ones that are coming with us to COP30. And some of these examples are Zach, Lubin, and Seruni, that you will be having the chance, aside of the alumni that is coming today, as well as Renata. But show us during this time why you should be the one that is joining us. It's important. The more that you showcase your powers, the more chances that you have to join us in COP30 Brazil. Thank you so much. Sorry to jump in. I was just interested in sharing that. Thanks, Luigi. Back to you, Clarissa or Luigi. Yes.
Thanks so much. And just to say, just because there's a lot of questions about the bursaries in the chat, and that we understand that it's frustrating that there's only 10 spaces available, but just to contextualize that, we had 5 spaces last year. So we're doubling our cohort, and we're, as I mentioned, trying to fundraise more to send more participants, but this is an entirely free program, and so we need to fundraise in order to send people. So we're trying to do one better than just a free training program, and also have some financial support, but it's, just to contextualize that a bit. So just to the panel, thanks so much for being with us today. It's so great to see you all back, and lovely to see your faces. I wondered if you could answer, what did you most enjoy about your participation on the youth training program last year?
Okay, well, I can just make a start then, yeah. Well, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is, I think you just have to look into the room and you have your answer. For me, it was really the sheer global diversity of participants. I couldn't believe, how many countries and diverse nations faces were represented. That really made me feel of a yeah, truly planetary community, and one that clearly keeps on giving. You know, the fact that I'm now here again, joined by hundreds of people from around the world is testament to the fact that it is a truly global environment, literally speaking. And the second thing that I really enjoyed was how practical it was. You know, you really get to hear from frontline voices that you don't normally encounter, in my case, in legal policy spaces. You know, there's a real practical focus on how to translate big climate concepts into real world advocacy tools. So it's really quite impressive without making it too abstract. So even people that are not experts in the fields can follow it.
Thanks, Oliver. Fidel.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I would say the same as Oliver said. I enjoyed working alongside people here. The team is really amazing. I mean, it was so inspiring working alongside people my age. Like when I joined, I was just from high school, and then I found that Luju was the co-chair of Global Youth Coalition, and she was just my age. Then I was like, how come that it was possible? And then I said that if I engage well, maybe I can be someone meaningful to my community too. So I also engaged working on Slack. It was my first time engaging with it. But every time I had a question, either regarding the training or personal, I could find people to approach and they helped me sort it out. So it was very interesting. And beyond the GYCT being a training, I can say that I got a family because I will always say that I belong here. Thank you.
That was really, really great. Thank you, Fidel.
Thanks, Zach. And you guys just go ahead. So Zach and then Jetta and Lily.
Yeah, I think kind of to build off what they said before, not just seeing who else is there and who's in the room, but meeting them and setting up, I'll probably touch on it a bit later, but trying to get to know them outside of these sessions and reach out to them. I know everybody's sharing their LinkedIns and social media and email, whatever it is. When you guys get the Slack running, reach out to people privately and yeah, just meet as many people as you can and learn what they're up to.
Thanks, Zach. Jetta?
Right. I'll go a little bit of a different angle. I love that this program shares its knowledge freely. So like most of it is available on YouTube. So you don't even have to be in a program to look at it. So it's really great that I like when I learn from here, I can also share it with people like who may not be in a program, who might want to be in a program, or like people like I'm aside from being an MTT fellow, I'm also a coordinator of Global Biodiversity Network Thailand, and I would have the option to take these learnings and like share it with my colleagues through that way. And there are also some exciting things. You know, GYC, quite of you, they have some new ideas about or like trying out different stuff. You've seen Augustine sharing about the metaverse, right? And what I like about the metaverse last year was a bike. Yeah, I don't know if it makes sense to anyone, but like, yeah, there's a bike in there.
Thanks so much. Lily? Oh, yeah, good. I think
Your
I can ask
microphone's
you.
off, Lily, I think.
Oh,
There we go. I think,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, what I really love is that it's designed to be interactive. Sometimes for other like capacity building programs, I have to wake up at like 5 and they just lecture at you. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so out of it. I really care, but it's 5 a.m. and they're just talking at you. So there's interactive sessions and you can really meet people. I'm working on projects with people I met at training last year. And it's honestly just a great community, and definitely reach out to each other because people are genuinely so nice and helpful.
I'm super glad to hear that. And it's so good to hear that you're working on projects together. So thanks, Lily. Saruni.
Yeah. I think just to add more, actually GYCT is like my perhaps my one place after I resigned from a full-time job, and I connected with so many lovely people. And then I think the realizations that as youth we have the power to change things, and I feel empowered with one another. So connecting to what my previous colleagues has already mentioned, to reach out to fellow youth. And I feel like the contents and the materials that they have sent is very, very important and crucial, and truly connect on what the COP and the climate topics and initiatives from each country share. So these are the things that I truly love. And the entertainment, the enjoyment, which is also important. Thank you.
Thanks so much, guys. So nice to hear all of your inputs and feedback. Luigi, over to you all.
Okay, sorry, that was the doorbell. Well, I'm gonna ask you guys another question now, and that is, what is your advice to the 2025 participants? And maybe if we could start with Jessa.
Sorry, Jetta, I think, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think, yeah, I think a lot of my panelists here have already mentioned that reaching out to other people. The program team has made a Slack, and then you can also discuss into various subtopics or like interests of your own, and like share information. As you've seen, even people who've been to COP and like in the same program may not have met or have known each other until much later. But if you're able to reach out to people or make yourself known in a way that people are interested to reach out, then I think it would really help expand your understanding, expand your network, and allow you to get more out of wherever you go. So whether it be COP, whether it be UN events, or any other space that you work on climate. And you keep meeting the same people, so it's good that you know people so that you would feel like you have a friend wherever you go. Yeah.
Okay, and over to Lily. I think
Yeah, I think something Augustine said was super important. I didn't go into the training, think I was, going to COP because I'm a minor and it's often very difficult for, people under 18 to participate in these international spaces. So I really went in like with a mindset that, yes, I'm going to try and apply this locally. And that was incredibly important because, it's sometimes very difficult to get access to these international spaces, but this training is still so meaningful, and you can make these incredible connections and realize how, international frameworks mean very, very little unless they're translated into local action into your backyard.
Really sorry, just making sure you can speak. Thanks, Lily.
Okay. Sorry, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. My message to everyone, I think continuing what Augustine said. To be honest, during the process, I did not even focus on the goal. I was just questioning my why. Why am I here? Why do I want to advocate this? And then be bold, ask questions, be critical of what the topic have been shared, and also relate this to your country. And I connect it from global to local, from local to global. Why are you here? What are the things that you would like to represent? So I'm focusing on this. And the rest, if I got to COP or not, that's not something I would say focus on, to be honest, because I'm just having too much of learning, having too much of getting to know of other people, be inspired and get to inspire others. So I was just having fun. I think that's just basically my message.
Thanks so much, Serene. Oliver?
Yeah, I've got two things for you. I think the first one is some of you might be suffering from I don't know, Stockholm syndrome, or thinking, why am I selected out of so many thousands of people? Am I good enough to be here? You know, and I think it's important to remember that your lived experience is very valid climate knowledge. You do not need to be a climate researcher or policy expert to be here at this room. So I think just remind yourselves, you know, that you have lived experience. That's really important. The second thing, from a bit more of a vulnerable perspective, I missed a couple of sessions last year, and I was able to catch up eventually because, you know, notes will be shared. But I do feel like you will get so much more out of the sessions if you actively contribute during the live sessions, and you do make the most of the networking part of it, because, you know, these are the things that really last beyond just the knowledge that you pick up. It's the network that you become a part of, and the only way to really do that is to be present in the moment. So that is my number one advice for you all.
Thanks so much. Great advice. Sorry, Luigi.
And now for Fidel.
Okay, thank you so much. For me, I have like two advices for Response 2025. I'd first say that you are selected because you deserve it and you have something tangible to present, which has the potential to change lives of the people around you. And if you stick on that, you have right people around you to help you develop it. So stick on that, and you will get most out of it. And next, this session is the most flexible one. It's not mandatory to make it on live sessions. If you miss live one, you have recordings available to help you catch up with the sessions. And I would say make sure you apply what you learn, because knowledge without action is just like an academic exercise. And here we don't have professors to give us GPAs. You have this out of this. You just make an action from the knowledge you get here. So if you do that, I'm positive you will get most out of the training. Thank you.
Thank you, Fidel, and over to Zach.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone covered it pretty well, but I would just add to the engagement side of things. Like Oliver was saying, engage with the live sessions. Last year's training, I was back home in Los Angeles, and it was 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. for every session, but it was so much more worth it to get up for it and be there for the real thing than watch the recording. So if you can, I would say join, but also try to keep your cameras on specifically for the breakout sessions. Engage. People in the chat I've seen saying we should have a WhatsApp group. If you don't want to have Slack and you want to have a WhatsApp group, make a WhatsApp group. Somebody made one for us, and it was just a participant. I think it was Saruni actually, so credit to Saruni. But yeah, so if there's something that you want to happen, just make it happen. Send messages in the chat, participate in the sessions, and yeah, just be engaging.
This is great. This is such good. Sorry, Luigi, I keep
Sorry,
across you. Sorry, I can't see you on my screen, so I'm like, thanks so much, guys. Such good advice, and really, really helpful. And this is making me think I want to have an alumni panel to start every training, because it's so useful to have your insights. And so, yeah, you guys who are the new cohort, we'd love to have you back next year to kind of carry the flame. I'll ask my final question, and then I'm, with huge apologies, need to head off for another meeting that I cannot miss. I'm really sorry, but I will hand over to my extremely capable and wonderful colleague Clarissa. And so just thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I hope you have a wonderful time in the breakout rooms. Really look forward to seeing you next week. And just my last question to the alumni panel before I head off is, how do opportunities like the Global Youth Climate Training Program support your journey in climate advocacy? I'm very sorry that I will not be able to hear your answers, but I know that they will be brilliant, and see you guys all soon.
Thank you, Alexis.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Alexis. Cool. I will share my screen, but in the meantime, if any of the alumni would like to take that question, Oliver, you go ahead, start us off. Sorry, I'm not sure if you heard. Oliver, you can go ahead. I think you're on mute though.
Oliver, are you having trouble unmuting yourself? Is that it?
Okay,
wait.
We'll come back to you. Lily, I know you put your hand up just after, so why don't you go next and we'll come back to Oliver.
Sorry, there was just yeah, you didn't allow anyone to unmute themselves. That's what I've been trying to say, and I also couldn't chat. The chat was also disabled, so all good.
My apologies.
No. Just some tech issues. All good. Yeah. So just really quickly, I think, I mean, I would be lying if I said suddenly GYCT changed my life. So I don't really want to gush and say like, you know, suddenly I got into a master's program of my dreams and then a full-time job right afterwards, just purely because of GYCT. No, but, and I think that's really important, it really reaffirmed my commitment to climate action, because I was, you know, I've been around the space for some time, and it's really difficult to continue feeling that initial motivation that you might have had a couple of years ago when you started. And there was a point in my life where I really considered, well, am I just becoming one of those you know, millennials who are just over it? And then I joined GYCT, and it really reaffirmed, you know, not just the possibility of change, but the need for change, just like Augustine said it so eloquently at the beginning. So this really reaffirmed that, you know, we don't just have a stake at the table, but we can really change the world. And I think from a personal perspective, this is really important. Now, practically going forward, I'm also really excited that I hope to engage with GYCT in person, for example, in Bonn in June during the SP62, or in Belém at COP30, and so on and so forth. So being part of a real network beyond just the inspiration is much more of a takeaway than I could have ever hoped for.
Thank you so much. That's a great answer. And thank you so much for bearing with on the tech issues front. We much appreciate that. I will now pass to Lily to answer next.
Yeah, I definitely agree so much. I think GYCT made the process of going to COP less stressful, and COP was very, very stressful. So I'm very, very grateful. We got to hear from a lot of negotiators that offered very practical advice, like, you know, getting food and accommodation. And I made so many incredible friends during training. And one of them actually like snuck me food at COP from their hotels, which helped me enormously, because if you guys know what happened at COP29, the food was ridiculous. So again, just reach out to people, like genuinely chat with them. Don't like superficial engagement on LinkedIn. Sure, it can help, you can meet people, but like ask them about their life stories, because everyone has such unique and interesting experiences. So
yeah, I absolutely love that your friend snuck you food. That is iconic. I will now pass to Zach to go next.
Yeah, thanks. I am a little bit different because I was fortunate enough to receive or be a bursary recipient. So it did impact me pretty significantly. I happened to already be in Europe at the time. So just to kind of speak on the bursary, as I know some people wanted to hear about that, I was able to use the bursary to pretty much fully fund my attendance at COP, including accommodation. Obviously, it's different based on where you are and where COP is held, but it was very, very helpful for me. And then at COP, I interacted a lot with Augustine, Saruni, GYC, a lot of other members from the cohort. And from there, I was able to actually speak on a sports and sustainability panel at COP 29 and kind of just see how the process works. That was my first COP. And now here I am working on sports and sustainability with my own organization, as well as joining GYC as the project developer, working on the avocado framework, leading discussions there, and kind of facilitating other ideas or projects and how we can transfer discussion into implementation on the ground around the world. And that's very unique, I would say. I think it's more so how the others have explained it, but it really is super impactful. And I think Lily said she's working on some projects with other members of the previous cohort, and so am I. And some of them are not here today, some of them are. So it's just, you can make a big impact and it can really have a big influence regardless of how you interpret it.
Yeah, love that. And I guess I'm going to pass on to Saruni next because you are also one of our bursary recipients, so you can maybe speak to that experience as well. And then I'll pass back to our other alumni to finish up the panel.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much. So for me, I think it's like a domino or ripple effect. I got the bursary, and I also was part of the Children and Youth Constituency. So there were several engagements that I participate, Youth Climate Forum, and I got to speak at the high level roundtable on energy and closing plenary. And I used my GYCT experience on my college essay, which I got accepted at my master, University of Edinburgh this year. And then I got part of the Oxford Net Zero Youth Researcher. And then now I am part of the SBTI Net Zero Corporate Development. So it was like a ripple effect. And most importantly is the connection. I was not only having the experience of meaningful youth participations, but I got a meaningful friendship, sustain, long last forever, especially with Zach and also Augustine and everyone. I think for me, it's like a magic, to be honest. So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. Love to hear that. I'll now pass on to Jetta to go next.
Well, like Zach, I can't prove that this program like got me everything, but at the same time, I also can't prove that it hasn't. Because recently I also got accepted for a master's in public policy with full scholarship at National University of Singapore, and yeah, the MTT fellowship as well. I mean, a lot of times, we all have lived experience, of course, but at the same time, for people outside the circle, people who, may not value youth or like lived experience for its own sake, they may look at credentials and names of different institutions, and yeah, so at I can't prove that it doesn't help me on that. So maybe it has something to do with that as well. And I think important thing is what Sereni said. It's like a ripple effect. When you get opportunities, often you get more opportunities going forward. So if you're able to engage and show that you are invested, interested, and then and you're willing to take a step to do things to participate or to share your thoughts or like help contribute to different spaces, then yeah, opportunities will come your way, and often it will too much will come too. So yeah, you need to be prepared for that as well, I think.
Great point, knowing how to prioritize the opportunities that hopefully come to all of you. And yeah, great to hear about everyone getting into their master's programs. That's really cool. And then Fidel, I'll pass to you for the final comments from the alumni panel.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'd say GYCT exaggerated my status, if I can say, because as I mentioned earlier, I joined GYCT right after my high school. So I didn't have any experience in this field of climate stuff. But I'd say GYCT opened more doors for me. And guess who is working with NGOs and founders and CEOs? It's me, just after GYCT. So if you take it serious, I'm pretty sure it's gonna open more doors, as Jita said. So I also loved networking with people experienced in the field of climate and environmental stuff. And just now, because of GYCT, I'm joining my undergraduates this year. So it's very good, and I appreciate the family and network we made here. And I always like to say that it's not success until we all succeed, and we will succeed when you all make it. So let's aim to get the best out of the training, and I believe it will change everyone's status. Thank you. I'm very concise.
Thank you so much. I feel really inspired hearing everyone's recollections. And also, I love your honesty in saying what the program did and didn't do for you. But hopefully all the cohort watching now feel a bit inspired as well. So I'm going to do just a bit more logistical information before we go into our breakout rooms, which will be your chance to chat. I know this session has been very logistical information heavy. We won't have as much of that in the future sessions, and there will be more opportunities to listen to our incredible speakers and to engage together. So just a bit about our social media networks. I know Augustine has been going away in the chat and telling you all to post, and we absolutely would love that. So yeah, these are our various channels, and we will be sharing the slides so you can have the names of these channels. You can tag us, we'll repost you, we'll share what you've posted and give you that platform. This is just a bit more information about the recordings. We've gone through this a bit already, so I won't spend too much time here, but we always send out the recordings after the sessions. We upload all the multiple language versions onto the Smith School YouTube channel. Those come a few days after the session. I can't confirm that it will be 24 or 48 hours every time, but we do endeavour to get them to you as quickly as possible. And all the slides will be in that for participants folder that we've already shared with you. So this is a little highlight for our next session. We'll be having 3 amazing speakers talk to us about where we are now as a starting point for this year's programme. We have Dr. Steve Smith from Oxford Net Zero, who'll be doing a kind of rundown on climate science. We have Aruna Chandrasekhar from Carbon Brief. She'll be doing an update on the most recent COP outcomes because she does a lot of reporting at the COPs. And then we have Myrna Inez Fernandez, who is a researcher in biodiversity, and she'll be giving an update on the most recent biodiversity conferences like COP16.